All right, get this because you'll be thinking about it the whole day. So a non-binary Indian on a student visa has just been elected to the Scottish Parliament despite being a foreign citizen who does not have a permit to even work in the country. They are now going to be paid £77,000 or over $100,000 a year for this position. All right, check this out.
My name is Dr. Q Manavanan. I am a transgender Tamil immigrant. My pronouns are they, them.
Why are we applauding this? Why are we applauding this? That's not an achievement. You've just made it up.
I am, to some in this country, everything that the hateful despise, and I'm standing here as your MSP now with care.
Oh, so you're hateful if you want a gender-confused migrant without even the legal right to work in the country who has never contributed to society running the country. If you don't like that, you're just a hateful bigot.
They say politics is the art of the possible. A politics of care, I'd say, expands what's possible for everyone left behind, pushed out, or never invited in.
Oh, give me a break. This whole language of never been invited in. No, dude, you're illegal. You shouldn't be in the country doing that whole thing. You couldn't get this the other way around. Like a Scottish person, right, couldn't just show up in Japan and say, hey, I'm like going to run the country now. Like, no, that's not how things work. But no, it's all about breaking down boundaries, letting everyone in. My goodness.
A scholar I love called Saidiya Hartman wrote that the holes that bind us are also the bonds that free. Every barrier placed before me with the Greens was the reason also that we pushed further.
Right. So you're postmodernist, of course, where boundaries, borders, categories all need to be destroyed because it's holding you back. Now, what happens when you run a country with borders and you have a person in charge who thinks that all borders and categories and boundaries need to be just completely broken apart? What's that going to do to the mass migration problem that we're already facing in the UK when you got a dude who's never even worked a day in his life in the UK now being paid £77,000 or approximately $100,000 to decide the fate of the country? How is this not illegal already? How did this happen?
And this is what diversity looks like in power.
Wonderful. It looks terrible. It looks terrible. Absolutely disgusting. But this is not the only example of this, by the way. The Green Party has turned into an absolute Trojan horse for whatever ideology or group of people want to get power in the UK to destroy the system. And it's always people, usually not from the UK, who have entered the Green Party, plus a little sprinkling of suicidal, empathy, liberal white women. Check this out.
Assalamu alaikum. আমি সবাইকে অনুরোধ জানাচ্ছি আমার বাংলাদেশি কমিউনিটি যারা এই নিউ হোমে বসবাস করেন সবাইকে
What?
No, I didn't catch a word of that.
Yeah. No one catches a word of that because you're in England. Why are you speaking whatever the heck that was? But look, like I said, this is the standard operation for the Green Party. So gone are the days where the Green Party represented tree huggers, vegans, people wanted to look after the oceans, the environment, the waterways. No, like the Green Party now no longer represents the green of the natural world. It represents the green colors of the Islamic Jihad. That's now what the Green Party is. But there's more, all right? Stick with me now because this is going to get crazy.
All right, is this Gaza or Great Britain? All right, what about this?
আর মনে করা যেতাম কার কাছে পাওয়ার আসলে আছে
7 মেতে গ্রিন পার্টিকে ভোট দেন
Green Party হে
And this is the Labour candidate for Tower Hamlets.
আমি শাহিদা রহমান আমি ব্রহ্মরী নৌতে লেবার পার্টির কাউন্সিলর সিলেক্টেড হইছি আমি আমার সাথে আছেন হামিম চৌধুরী
And here, independent candidates being endorsed by imams, which MPs said in the House of Commons, by the way, like Jeremy Corbyn, said there wasn't any evidence of.
This is your chance to bring change to your streets and to your roads. So you must come out, vote for these independent candidates.
And can you understand this candidate?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम मेरा नाम काउंसलर सुमैया सुहेब है मैं नॉर्थ ब्री वार्ड से खड़ी हो रही हूँ
And here is some independents celebrating their victory.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's like we're in Allahabad.
Well, this is Britain, election Britain now, isn't it? Candidates campaigning in foreign languages, which we saw, of course, in the last by-election very recently. Dialects I'm sure many of the vast majority of Brits wouldn't understand, and scenes, frankly, people wouldn't recognise as the United Kingdom.
Now, going back to that original transgender Indian dude, apparently he is one of 2 transgender MSPs that have been elected to the Scottish Parliament. Now, I don't know why these people are calling themselves trans. One is clearly a woman, one is clearly a man. Like, these are just labels that you've just thrown on top of you due to some kind of identity crisis. And also these people are incredibly like anti-establishment. They don't like the royal family. They don't like white people. This is the trans guy saying, you know, goddamn white people, which, by the way, flows really well into the Scottish Parliament, since the former Prime Minister of Scotland had this to say about white people.
That 99% of the meetings I go to, I'm the only non-white person in the room. But why are we so surprised when the most senior positions in Scotland are filled almost exclusively by those who are white?
Dude, it's because you're in a white country. Maybe that's why. Maybe you should be grateful that you are leading the country as a Pakistani guy. Like, how about that? Rather, like this is honestly, it boggles my mind how ungrateful and arrogant the Islamic world is constantly. Right? It's never enough. You give them all this stuff, it's never enough. No, we want more, we want more, we want more. Until white people have been squashed out, until they replace everyone. And then they're still complaining, right? So you look at Gaza and you look at the whole Israel thing. So look, the Israelis, they're displacing the Gazans. Oh, look how terrible it is. Okay, if you want to play that game, what about all of you who have flooded into Europe and are now stealing the native indigenous lands of the white people? No, then it's good, isn't it? Then it's good because you like it and you want to assert your absolute colonial dominance in the region. Right? There's more on this video. Check it out.
Take my portfolio alone. The Lord President, white.
Good.
The Lord Justice Clerk, white.
Good.
Every High Court judge,
good.
White. The Lord Advocate,
good.
White. The Solicitor General,
good.
White. The Chief Constable, white.
Good.
Every Deputy Chief Constable, white.
Good.
Every Assistant Chief Constable, white.
Good.
The Head of the Law Society, white. The
Good.
Head of the Faculty of Advocates, white. Every...
As it should be for Scotland. Honestly, I need to watch myself here because it's very easy to get infuriated, especially when you're dealing with the Green Party. So check this out. This person wrote that the Green Party is now code word for radical control networks. Radical left is now just synonymous with central banking theft. Absolutely. Global elites moving in for full capture. These are money transfer vehicles with no measurable consequence. It's just made up. So what is she describing here? So get this. $392 million to the International Climate Package. You have $5.3 billion to international climate finance programs. Like, these things have no auditing. You don't know any of the outcomes. No one hears about any of the benefits that have come from all of this. Like, over the last 20 years of absolute climate alarmism and the trillions that have gone into it, have we seen any benefit? No, none whatsoever. $660 million for gender equality. What are you talking about? Where is this money going? How is this actually making the world better? Like $660 million, you know how much good you can do with that? You could build with just, I don't know, 5 million of those dollars, one of the greatest architectural masterpieces in your city. Build a huge cathedral that will last, 500 years into the future. Contribute to the actual culture and benefiting of the people, right? But no, now we've got crappy architecture, nothing works, and roads have potholes in them because all of the money is being funneled up to these stupid government programs to line the pockets of their buddies. Welcome to leftist politics. And by the way, I'm not saying that the right are free of this. The Conservative Party in the UK have been an absolute shambles and a mess as well. It's just that it's so overt with the left, it's insane. 8.2 million for gender-just rice programs, a 4-year initiative in Vietnam called Greening Our Rice, gender-just, low-carbon rice value chains in Vietnam. 9.5 million for positive masculinities, a 5-year microfinance project in Morocco. Insane. But here's where I think the rubber really hits the road and you really start to understand the ideology of the Green Party. The Green Party in the UK has allegedly planned to disestablish the Church of England, as if it needed any more help to do that already, with a new female archbishop. and how spiritually dead the Church of England actually is when it comes to like the actual governance of that church and the whole royal family's involvement in all of it. Plus, man, if you really want to go back, you talk about the kind of founding of the Church of England and all that kind of stuff and the various doctrines that were changed. Anyway, but the point is that the Greens absolutely want to disestablish the Church of England. They hate the church. They hate Christianity because actually what they are a Trojan horse for Islamism. And that's really what this is all about. So anyway, what a wonderful day it is to be a British person or a Scottish person when you now have someone who's never worked a day in their life in Scotland now running the country and is confused about their own gender, and now they seem to have all the answers of how to make Scotland better. Do not trust these people, right? These are snakes in the garden. I don't care all about the inclusive language, right? This is the kind of stuff that ruins your life, ruins the future of your children. Anyway, absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Anyway, give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, hype it if you can, share it with someone you know, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll speak to you in the next one. God bless.